You're listening to the Lone Star Gridiron Sports Network.
The Calallen Wildcats weekly press conference is brought to you by the Calallen Touchdown Booster Club. The Touchdown Booster Club exists to support and promote the Calallen High School football program by uniting students, parents, coaches, and the community.
All right, everybody join me in welcoming Coach Charlie Reeve from the Calallen Wildcats. Coach, how are things today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, but I imagine practicing Thanksgiving week, that's a pretty sweet deal, huh?
It is. You know, anytime you can still be playing football, Thanksgiving week is a special deal, and being one of 16 teams left is pretty special. So, there's lots to be thankful for this week, and it's good to see our kids here this morning and start out the week with a good practice.
Nice. And did you see Victoria West is still alive?
They are. I'll tell you what, Coach Boyce has done a great job, and they've got a good team, and hopefully they can keep it rolling as well. Right on.
Well, let's jump into that Somerset game, 49-28. Walk me through the flow of that one.
Well, I'm extremely proud of our kids, and I think we had a great week of practice and a great week of preparation, and something we talk about every week about, the Friday nights are going to take care of themselves, and it's our preparation throughout the week. I thought our approach to the game was really good, and Somerset had a really good team. We knew it was going to be a big challenge. We knew we had to start fast, and so ended up getting the ball first and taking it down and scoring and kind of setting the tone for the game. And offensively, really played well. Sebastian Dennis just had a phenomenal night, had 5 touchdowns, and our guys up front really play well. One of the keys every week is we want to be the more physical team, and that's something that we take pride in, and I thought that's what we did. I thought we played really physical up front, and I thought we ran the ball hard. I thought our wideouts and everybody that got involved really played well, and defensively, they were really good on offense, and I tell you what, they were big up front. Quarterback we knew was a really good player, and all 3 phases I thought played really well, and again, right now I think our kids are playing with a lot of confidence, and it's paying off on Friday nights.
Nice, and put up almost 50 points. What was it that they were unable to deal with again when it comes to your offense?
Well, like I said, I think it just kind of starts up front with those, with our offensive line and our tight ends. And, the run game is always, has been a big part of what we've done. And, we did a good job getting the edge. There was a lot of things that, whether it was the stretch or some wide receiver pops, and I thought our wide receivers and running backs did a great job as far as blocking the perimeter game. And then, once we kind of started hitting them on the outside, started hitting stuff up the middle and opening some stuff up there. But I just think that we executed really well, took care of the ball. We didn't punt all night, which is always a good thing. But I just think our kids, they played extremely hard. I thought we executed really well, and our guys made a lot of plays. So that was good to see.
Nice. Well, talk about Bay City, because I'm sure you've been paying attention to them during the season. I know I have. They've got a lot of weapons, but I've also seen some spots where they could be, attacked. Sure.
No, I mean, they're a really good team. Anybody at this point, that's still left is really good. But their team speed is what really kind of pops off the screen when you watch them on film. On both sides of the football, they've got a lot of team speed. They've got a lot of playmakers on offense. It starts with their quarterback. I think he does He throws the ball really well. I mean, they're going to sling it around the yard and spread you out. He's got a lot of weapons to throw to. I think he does a really good job of extending plays. I think he's an athletic guy, and so it definitely makes it tough. I think they distribute the ball really well, but they got some wideouts that can really stretch the field, and they're really good out in space. From a defensive standpoint, we got our hands full. I think we got to do a good job as far as just tackling. We can't give them extra yards or a lot of missed tackles, and we got to get hats to the football. I think it's going to take more than one to bring some of these guys down, and we got to eliminate the big plays and can't give up the deep balls. And they're really good on both sides. I think defensively, they're not a big blitz team like some of the teams that we play. They're going to do what they do, and they run to the football really well. But again, they've got great team speed. I think they're physical up front. They got two really good linebackers, and they're a really solid team. I mean, they're number 8, top 10 in the state for a reason, and to be district champs coming out of that district that they're in says a whole lot about them. So I think Coach Jones does a really good job with that, with his team, and so it's definitely going to be a big challenge.
Nice. And the location, D.W. Rutledge Stadium, talk about why that was chosen.
Well, the tough thing, during Thanksgiving week is just finding places that are hosting games. And, finding a neutral site, you'd like to maybe find a Victoria or, even a Calhoun or something like that in between. But, either they weren't hosting a game or, those places were already taken up. So, we were looking somewhere around the San Marcos, area, and, a lot of Seguin, those places were booked up. And so, we kind of, Converse, luckily they were hosting games, and it's a nice stadium. I think it's going to be a nice venue for both teams. And so, is it ideal, for both teams? Probably not, but, the main thing is we want to find a good spot for our two programs and our fans, it's just one of those scenarios that, trying to find a place that is hosting games during Thanksgiving is sometimes tough.
Yeah, definitely. And on the other side of the bracket, you've got Lavernia going up against Calhoun. And I tell you, Calhoun's a team that has historically just come on stronger and stronger the later the season goes. What do you think about that matchup?
I'll tell you, it's, we've had a chance to watch both of those guys just because, when you play in El Campo, and we saw both of those guys on film, and then we've seen obviously now Bay City, and, we've talked about it before, but that district is a meat grinder. I mean, you got 4 teams that are, in my mind, not only some of the top teams in the region, but also in the state. That'll be a great matchup. I think Calhoun is always, like you said, is always a team that really, comes on later in the season. I think it's going to be a physical game for sure. I think both teams are really physical, and they're big up front, and so it'll be a great matchup. Whoever comes out of that game is definitely going to earn it.
Definitely. And finally, how are the kids health wise going into this week?
I think we're good. Like I said, we've been blessed to stay relatively healthy, and obviously being week 13 of the season, it's nobody's 100%, but I think we're in good shape for where we're at.
I love it. Well, again, congratulations on the Somerset win. Best of luck at Converse Judson or D.W. Rutledge Stadium against Bay City.
I appreciate it.
Are you ready to take your game to the next level? Whether you're an athlete, coach, or just someone striving for more success in life, the Winner's Workshop is your secret weapon. Yes, this award-winning course has transformed thousands of lives, teaching the game-changing principles of sports psychology that Fortune 500 companies, coaches, and top performers all use to win. The Winner's Workshop, subtitled How Sports Psychology Can Make You a Champion, is now available on CoachTube for a fraction of the original $499 price. The Winner's Workshop will help you master focus, mindset, and breakthroughs to make you a champion. Click on the link in the show notes or head over to LoneStarGridiron.com and click on the ad today to unlock your full potential.